All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else, and I am on the PTS, and I am testing the Warrior Fury set for the Scalebreaker DLC. Now, as I've talked about before in my other videos that I've released, there are a lot of changes to a lot of the heavy armor sets. The heavy armor meta has gone through a rework. For a long time, it just made sense to be in heavy because you could get more weapon damage. Fury was probably the biggest culprit. The old set used to give you 750 weapon damage for the 5-piece bonus. So when you take critical damage, you gain 30 weapon damage. Could stack up to 25 times. So it led to a lot of high burst situations. Now, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, guys, but I think in general, in more situations, Fury is now going to be better in the Scalebreaker DLC than it is currently in elsewhere. And here's why. First of all, it now procs off of when you take damage instead of just critical damage. So this set will be procking a lot more reliably, which I will show in this test. It can stack up to 20 times. So instead of having 750 weapon damage, we can now have 600. So it is a nerf to the overall weapon damage capability of this set. However, it can once you reach 20 stacks, the duration is doubled but can no longer be refreshed. So this set will continue to scale your weapon damage up to 600. And then at that point, you will get 10 seconds of 600 weapon damage. And then it will completely reset to 0. And then it will start stacking back up again. Now, the reason I like this more, guys, and I've talked about this in other videos, so I'm not going to try and rehash old discussions, but Fury is amazing in the damage that it provides. When you're fighting outnumbered, or if you're fighting a dot build like a Magplar or a Mag DK, you really just dish out so much damage against them because they're constantly upticking your Fury procs. However, the problem with this set, in a lot of situations when you're fighting like 1 or 2 people, you'll get the Fury buff, and then you go on the offensive and you deal out a really nice burst combination. You drop them to low health, and the other person goes on the defensive and they start healing up, and you're trying to execute them, and they heal to full, because they're a Magplar and they have 16k Breath of Life heals on their tooltip, like some build that I'm just thinking of off the top of my head. That can happen. And so then all of a sudden, all of your Fury procs go back down to 0, and now you have to basically reset the fight, wait for your ultimate, wait for your burst again, and hopefully drop them down and execute them before your Fury ticks tick off. Also, I watch a lot of people on YouTube, and I like watching a lot of Stam DKs on PC, and oftentimes when they're running Fury, you'll see the weapon damage counter on the side of their bar. And so you'll see their weapon damage just bursting up when they're fighting outnumbered. However, the problem with that is when they go to line of sight around a corner, all of a sudden you'll see their Fury ticks just dropping down to nothing because of how Fury is proccing. And so it was a 5-second cooldown. As soon as those 5 seconds ended, it would just reset, and then you have to restart all over again. So I think this is better because it procs more reliably, and then when you get to 600 weapon damage, you have 10 seconds to get off your burst instead of 5, and then it just starts ticking back up again. So once you take 1 damage over time effect, every half second you're going to start gaining weapon damage. So I'm done talking about the set. We're going to go test it now. So I'm wearing 5 Fury on the body. Unbuffed, I have 2548 weapon damage. We're going to go get hit by these Jackals and Craglorn and let them kick our ass for a little bit, and we're just going to watch what the set does. And so you can see, while they're attacking us, we jump up to, we're going to jump up to like 3,500 weapon damage-ish. So you see the procs just constantly happening. And so every half second, we're just gaining this weapon damage, 3450, 3482, 3514. And you see now we have 10 seconds of Warrior's Fury. And then it's going to go back down to 0. And then it's going to start proccing again. And so I accidentally buffed with 7th Legion Brute. My bad. So we're going to have to let that go away. But it has the same proc as 7th Legion. It has the same animation. So I guess this is going to be the take damage animation. But you see, I'm fighting 5 Jackals here, but you see it's just constantly reticking. It's constantly going back up, because of the damage I'm taking. And so 3545 is about where the cap's supposed to be at. And you see I drop down to 2914, and then I start shooting back up again because of the damage I'm taking. So I think that 7th Legion is now better. And I think it's better for that reason, because it now procs more reliably. It will now proc in any fight where somebody has a damage over time effect. And honestly, Scalebreaker is looking like a huge dot meta. You know, they've made changes to Soul Trap. They've made changes to Entropy. They're now dropping 2 sets that provide damage over time effects. On top of that, they changed how bleeds work, so now bleeds are affected by resistances. They then buffed, well, bleeds aren't getting an overall buff. They're still a nerf, but there are just so many sets that now provide damage over time effects. And so because of this new potential dot meta, I think Fury is just going to be an amazing set. Like, regardless of that, even if you get hit with like 1 poison injection, or if you're fighting 2 people, this is going to be proccing all the time. And so I think the set's great. I honestly, yes, we are losing 150 weapon damage, and so our overall burst isn't going to be capped as high as it currently is, but we can more reliably get to that high burst combo now with Fury. And so this set is not bad, in my opinion. This set is still really good. Like I said, I think it's better. I prefer Fury working this way than getting that extra 150 weapon damage, because I would just rather have reliably get 600 weapon damage for 10 seconds than have 750 and have it drop off, you know, when I need it the most, you know, for 5 seconds. So that's just my opinion. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.